What's up, divas, and what's up, divos? It's your girl April, and it is Real Talk Wednesday, Real Talk Diva and Devo time. So let's do this. Hey y'all, so if y'all already know, it's Real Talk every Wednesday, so you can go ahead and send me in your situation, or if you need some advice, you can always email me to MuffinIsMyLovers at 2012, and please put in the subject line Real Talk, so that way I know it is an official Real Talk episode that is needed. So I do these once a week, and I will post the information to my email also in the description box so that you can see that as well. So now, if you already know, I always change the user's real name because I don't feel like I need to divulge that information. It's just not really necessary. So, for this one, we're going to call her Shawnee, okay? So, hey Diva, I'm in desperate need of some advice. My boyfriend and I have been together for a while and are expecting our first child. He's been amazing to me since we first met. He showers me with love and affection and worships the ground I walk on. He does anything in his power to make sure that I'm happy and have everything that I want and need. Unfortunately, he's been incarcerated twice before my pregnancy, and he's now incarcerated again. I'm due in January, and I'm pretty much prepared for him to be incarcerated when I give birth. I feel like I have the weight of the world on my shoulders because I'm paying for his lawyer, commissary, phone calls, and all of the baby stuff with money he saved up for us. But the money is running out. I'm currently looking for a job to be able to pay for everything, but I can't help but be upset with him for taking me through this yet again. I love him and want to be with him, but I feel as though everything I should be going towards our child. I love him and I want to be with him, but I feel as though everything I have should be going towards our child and not him. Am I selfish for feeling this way? How can I possibly get through this entire situation without losing my sanity? Thank you for taking the time out to read this response, and have a blessed day. So, Shawnee and other ladies, divas and divos, if you have already seen a couple of episodes when I spoke about incarceration, I am very familiar with that situation that she's going through because my husband, my last two babies, my husband was incarcerated. So unfortunately, he was not there, and I had to go through it alone. Not really alone because I had my family and friends there with me while I gave birth, but it's still not the same thing. And yes, she's true. She's very right. You know, it's not being selfish if you feel like, you know, what you have should go towards your baby. There's no way that you should feel selfish because you are giving what you have to your child. Now, true indeed, I had to pay for a lawyer. That was $10,000 I had to pay. That was money that I saved up, you know, and it went to my husband's dumb shit, okay, for a lawyer. You know, I wasn't going to leave him stranded out there. And, of course, commissary, and, of course, phone calls, and, of course, visits, and, of course, packages, and, of course, whatever else, you know, came into fall with it, it was coming out of my pocket. Unfortunately, his mother and sister were just not helping at all. You know, they did give him a money order once, which was for $15. You know, $15, and I guess that's better than nothing, but April paid for basically 99% of everything. So I feel you on that. You know, I had to struggle on my own with Mumsy, and that was way before YouTube. She was probably like a year old when I started doing YouTube, but I know the feeling when you have to go through things alone, especially when the man that you're with, he's not really even there physically. He's really physically somewhere else, so it's not even the same thing as if you guys were breaking up. At least he can contribute, but he's not even there physically at all. So to me, I'm not going to say it's selfish because you have to take care of your baby, your baby on the way. And you're due in January. My daughter Tati, she's due in January as well. It's hard to find a job when you're, you know, so big, showing. Nobody really wants to hire you. Yes, you will find some places that are more than willing to hire you, especially now because it is the, you know, holiday seasons. It's the holiday season, so you will find a job, you know, temporarily, which is fine because you will need to leave anyway. So, I mean, if that's what you want to do, look for a job, then by all means go ahead. But I don't really feel like you should be breaking your neck and breaking your back and being on your feet all day to support yourself, your unborn, soon to be newborn, and your man that's incarcerated. Now, here's the thing with that. My husband just recently was released. And I'll never forget the day. This was like back in, I want to say like about 8 months ago. And we weren't really on the best of terms as in speaking. Now, you know, I got 5 kids. 4 of them are with me. My oldest son, he's 22, so he can, you know, fend for himself. So I'm not really responsible for him, but I am. Because if he needs something, I'm there and I'm going to give it to him. And if his son needs something, my grandson, of course I'm going to, by all means, give it to him. So, mind you, it's about 8 months ago. And like I said, we weren't on the best of terms, me and my husband. We weren't really on the best of terms as far as speaking. Now, you know, my love for him would never die, but we just weren't on the best of terms. Did this Negro call me and say I need to... He started the conversation on basically with, you know, how he's got a job in jail and etc., etc. I didn't really think much of it because what type of job can you possibly get in jail that's really going to pay you? He said, you know, is there any way you can loan me some money and I'll pay you back? He's first, and that was after the explanation of the job and so forth. He asked me for $400. Now this was like more than 8 months ago because it was the month before Christmas, and like, so it was like a year ago, a couple months before Christmas. So I said, are you serious? And he was like, why are you catching an attitude? I was like, is this a joke? Because I thought it was honestly a joke. How the hell are you supposed to ask me for $400 to loan you out of my pocket when I have 4 kids to take care of, like, and bills? Like, are you out your rabbit ass mind, dude? And as well as that, as you know, of course he would need money in his commissary, and what he would do is what I call dry begging, when you're basically like, well, if I get some money, I'll be able to call you. Because, you know, now in the feds, they're prepaid calls. I'm not really sure about state prison, but in the feds, they're called prepaid calls. So you have to have money on the books and put it on yourself. No more collect calls. So it was basically dry begging, and I hate a dry beggar because just ask for it, just ask. So, you know, I would give you money, give him money here and there when I had it to give, because I really don't feel like I should be the one paying Peter and Piper while you the one just chilling and getting rent-free, 3 square meals a day, commissary food, you know what I'm saying, pictures, telephone calls. Like, I really don't feel like I should be responsible for any of that. You put yourself in that situation, so therefore you have to deal with it. It is called jail. It's not a luxury. We're not at a rehab center like entertainment stars or anything like that. This is real life, and your kids come first. So in no way is it being selfish. What I find selfish is when they're constantly asking you to send them some money, send them some money for commissary, send them a package, come visit them, do this, do that, send them letters, accept calls. That's the part that I feel selfish, that I feel is really selfish on their part, you know what I'm saying? Because when you're left in the world and you have to tend to bills, even if you don't have any kids, but you have to tend to bills and just daily living, real life living, then I don't really find like somebody that put themselves in jail because of their dumb nonsense should be constantly asking you for shit. That's just not reality. You're in jail, fend for yourself, figure it out, and fuck off, okay? I'm not saying get rid of him, but he needs to really realize, and you need to sit down, Shawnee, and tell him over the phone, on a visit, whatever it is, listen, I am 7 months pregnant. I'm about to have this baby. I cannot afford to be sending you any more money because I have to get ready for our baby. And hopefully he understands. If he's not understanding about that, then he really needs to get a reality check, okay? It's not about him. And yes, true indeed, if he worships the ground you walk on, and he'll give you anything and everything you want and need, and you don't have to do without, then he needs to understand that he's going to have to do without for a while, because you guys are about to have a baby, and unfortunately he may not be there for the birth of his child. So the least he can do is not be so greedy and selfish and think about you and his child, unlike himself. You're getting 3 square meals a day and rent free. You all right. You're not starving. They give you toilet paper. I'm not saying they're going to give you shaving cream and shea butter and the best of both worlds, but you are getting the basics, and sometimes you have to do without certain necessities in order to survive and make sure that your family is all right. It's just me that, maybe it's just me, but I really hate to see a grown-ass man constantly or continuously asking a woman, a mother, for stuff when they put themselves in that situation. Now, I'm not being mean or I'm not being hard, but you know what? I've been through it enough to where I've gotten really sick and tired of going on a visit. Like, you know, and I do tell you guys that I do love him. I love my husband. And that's true indeed. But you know what? It's very irritating when you have to constantly take care of someone. It's annoying. And after a while, it gets to be a huge drain. Like, my dog was like going crazy. You heard him barking his little old self like he's a big guard dog and stuff, because my kids are downstairs acting stupid, you know. I think that's the part that is annoying me too. Like, I have enough people in my house, and not to sound mean or insensitive, but it is time for the oldest, his family, meaning his son and his girlfriend, to hurry up and find their own apartment, because I cannot deal with the extra bullshit in my house or in my life. So seriously, love them to death too, but like I was saying, you constantly giving to someone and they just constantly asking, and they put themselves in that situation prior, and then they're doing it again. It just becomes so annoying, and just to the point where, like with me, I was just so fed up with it. Like, I just couldn't take it anymore. You know, one time you went to jail, I dealt with it. Then the second time, I dealt with it. Then the third time, I dealt with it. You know what I mean? I would make the 5-hour drives for visits. And then this last situation was like, you know what? I can't no more. I'm about to leave and move to another part of the world. And you're going to have to figure it out on yourself, your own, because you too grown and I am way too grown for the bullshit. So Shawnee, I understand you. You are not being selfish. You're being responsible and you're mature, and you're worried about how you and your baby are going to take care of yourself. So trust me, indeed, I do not feel that you're selfish. I feel your pain because I know the circumstances that you'll have to go through and the situation that you're going through right now. Because trust me, I have been there twice with my last 2 kids, and it is not a fun journey. However, I did have family and friends around me that supported me mentally and emotionally, you know, not financially, but you know what I'm saying? I did have family and friends that were always there for me. And, you know, there were nights when it just felt like, why me? Like, honestly, I sometimes would cry to myself, like, why me? Why am I going through this? Why, God, am I constantly going through this with him? And how am I going to get through this? This was like the things that were going through my head. Like, I really sometimes didn't know how I was going to manage, how I was going to make it. I did have a job, you know. I did have a job, a really good paying job that I worked at for 9 years. You know, I was senior VP for marketing. So I did have a good paying job. I wasn't worried about the income. It was just like the stress level and sometimes my money. Like, my money is not your money. Sometimes I'll be like, my money ain't our money neither. Shit, I work for that. That's my money. Okay, we go half and half on stuff, but that's my money. Okay, I work for this. That go in my bank account. We don't share no bank account. This is my shit. But you know, I am a very caring person, and I do share. But sometimes you get to the point where it's like, listen, I've had enough. I've had enough. Grow up and figure it out. And you know what? As long as you continuously give them, they're just going to lean on you. And that goes to say with anybody, whether it be your boyfriend, your husband, even your goddamn kids. As long as you can allow them to lean on you and constantly ask you for stuff, and you continuously give it to them, they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. So you have to put your foot down and lay down the law and let him know, listen, I can't do this anymore. I want to be with you and we're going to be together, but right now, whatever money that I do have, it goes to the baby. And I'm sorry if this hurts your feelings, but you're going to have to do without, because the baby cannot do without. And that baby did not ask to be brought here. And it's not right for the baby to have to go without because your boyfriend needs something like an extra cupcake or snacks or whatever in jail, an extra phone call. It doesn't work like that in the real world. Children don't ask to be here. So it is our responsibilities as adults and parents to take care of them the best that we can and not slack off. You never choose your children. You never choose a man over your child. And as long as you continuously give him, he's just going to ask. So you have to put your foot down and lay down the law. So on that note, divas and divos, I hope you enjoyed this real talk. It was extra short. I didn't do 2 this time, unfortunately. I'm about to do a video with my dog Coco, so make sure you watch that. He will be featured in his very first video on YouTube with me. I think this is his first video. I'm not really sure. I don't remember bringing him into any videos on my old channel, but yes. So this is his first debut of stardom, and yeah, make sure you watch it. It will be posted up like tomorrow. So yeah, Coco. So on that note, leave all your opinions and advice down below for Shawnee, and if like you have a real talk situation that you would like advice on from us ladies and us divas and divos, then go ahead and email me at MuffinIsMyLovers2012, and I'll be more than happy to get back to you. So stay diva and divalicious, and I'll be back soon.